If this message reached you tonight, it's not a coincidence. It's a sign. Because there comes a moment when heaven interrupts your routine to tell you, I'm about to break the financial delay that has been holding your life still. And tonight that moment is here. You may not see the shift yet. You may not understand what has been happening in the unseen, but in the spiritual realm, something has already started moving on your behalf. Doors that stayed closed for years. Opportunities that were blocked at the last minute. Resources that slipped through your fingers. Efforts that produced less than expected. Seasons of working hard with little return. Cycles of almost making it but not fully breaking through. All of this begins to change tonight under the authority of Psalm 112. Because Psalm 112 is not a gentle blessing. It is a decree, a spiritual document, a legal announcement from heaven declaring wealth and riches shall be in your house. This is not poetic language. This is divine legislation. And tonight, heaven enforces it. Listen closely. For a long time, you have lived with a sense of restriction, not only financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Something has been slowing you down. Something has been creating resistance. Something has been draining your strength. Something has been interrupting your progress. And even though you are gifted, even though you are capable, even though you work hard, even though you push forward, the results have not matched your effort. This is the signature of financial delay, a spiritual resistance that sits on top of your hands, blocking what God intended to flow easily. But tonight, God lifts every form of financial delay off your life. Tonight, God touches your hands. Tonight, heaven activates overflow over everything connected to your name. Psalm 112 releases a very specific promise. Prosperity does not come from the earth. It comes from heaven. And when heaven decides to release abundance, nothing on earth can block it. This is why the enemy tried so hard to resist you financially, because once your hands prosper, everything connected to your destiny accelerates. You become stable, you become generous, you become aligned, you become activated, you become unstoppable. The enemy fears believers with resources not because of money alone, but because provision fuels purpose. Now listen with your spirit. There are financial blessings that were supposed to reach you years ago, promotions that didn't happen, contracts that vanished, ideas that never took off, seeds that were planted but produced little fruit, opportunities that should have multiplied but ended abruptly. Some of these delays were natural, but many were spiritual. But tonight, Psalm 112 is breaking through that barrier. God is canceling what resisted you. God is reversing what stagnated you. God is restoring what drained you. God is multiplying what remained small. God is strengthening what felt unstable. God is lighting the path that looked blocked. Because Psalm 112 does not promise only prosperity. It promises established prosperity. Prosperity that lasts. Prosperity that multiplies. Prosperity that reaches your house, your hands, your generations. Not unstable blessing. Not short-term blessing. Not temporary provision, but overflow. Overflow that touches your work. Overflow that touches your ideas. Overflow that touches your relationships. Overflow that touches your finances. Overflow that touches everything connected to your life. Now breathe deeply, because you're about to release a prophetic shift. Every time heaven prepares to accelerate your life, things begin to feel uncomfortable. You start to notice pressure. You start to feel emotional swings. You begin to sense resistance. You face unexpected difficulties. You see strange delays. But this is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign that the breakthrough is close. The enemy always fights hardest before overflow appears. And tonight, heaven confronts that resistance with power. Psalm 112 declares the righteous will never be shaken. This means financial storms may come, but they won't destroy you. Delays may appear, but they won't define you. Obstacles may rise, but they won't stop you. Enemies may speak, but they won't silence you. Lack may threaten, but it will not stay. Your life is stepping into a new rhythm, the rhythm of divine provision. A rhythm where blessings reach you without struggle. A rhythm where ideas that were stuck begin to flow. A rhythm where resources find you. A rhythm where solutions appear. A rhythm where unexpected doors open. A rhythm where God multiplies what you touch. This is overflow, not by chance, by decree. Tonight, God places His hand over your hands. Your hands that worked. Your hands that tried. Your hands that built. Your hands that carried pressure. Your hands that swed seeds in tears. Your hands that carried responsibilities beyond your strength. These hands, your hands are blessed tonight. Declare this: my hands will prosper. Again, everything I touch will be blessed. Let this declaration sink in. Your hands are no longer under spiritual delay. Your hands are no longer under financial resistance. Your hands are no longer under pressure. Your hands carry heaven's favor. And when heaven favors your hands, the earth cannot stop your harvest. Now declare, overflow comes to my life. Say it again. Overflow reaches my hands today. This is not wishful thinking. This is Psalm 112 becoming reality over you. And now seal this moment by declaring in the comments, God cancels financial delay from my life. Let this be your decree. Let this be your agreement with heaven. Let this be your announcement to the spiritual world, because tonight financial delay breaks and overflow begins. I receive the light of God today. If this spoke to you even a little, don't just scroll. Stay with me for one more step. Drop a God cancels financial delay from my life in the comments right now so heaven sees your agreement. And hey, don't leave this atmosphere. Hit subscribe, tap like, and share this with one person who needs breakthrough tonight. You're not just engaging, you're stepping into the overflow God already started. And when you finish here, go watch the next video I'm recommending. It's the continuation of what God is releasing over you tonight. Let's walk in this together. Breathe in. Tonight we step into the spiritual dimension where financial delay is broken, not by effort alone, not by strategy alone, not by opportunity alone, but by divine intervention. Because Psalm 112 is not just a scripture. It is a heaven-authorized decree that activates supernatural provision over those who fear the Lord and walk in righteousness. And you need to hear this clearly. Financial breakthrough is not simply about money. It is about freedom. Freedom to breathe, freedom to build, freedom to rest, freedom to walk in purpose without fear, freedom to sow generously, freedom to bless freely, freedom to stop surviving and finally start living. And tonight that freedom begins. But before overflow comes, something else must happen. Heaven must burn the spiritual resistance sitting over your hands. You have worked hard, harder than most people realize. You've pushed through exhaustion. You've sacrificed. You've given when you had little. You've tried to expand. You've prayed for wisdom. You've taken steps of courage, and yet something blocked the full return. This is the sign of financial warfare. A battle not against people, not against circumstances, but against invisible resistance that sits like a cloud over your productivity and progress. Tonight that cloud burns. Declare this, Lord, burn every spiritual resistance blocking my financial growth. Again, let every invisible barrier over my hands be destroyed, because your hands are not average. Your hands carry destiny. Your hands carry calling. Your hands carry ideas, gifting, influence, and generational purpose. And when hands like yours are delayed, families suffer, dreams pause, purpose slows. But tonight, your hands are set free. Now imagine this spiritually. You stretch out your hands before heaven, and they look tired, heavy, burdened by years of pressure. But then a radiant golden fire descends from above and rests gently on your palms. It does not burn you, it purifies you. It removes spiritual weight. It breaks invisible chains. It burns delay. It releases strength. It awakens dormant potential. It revives everything your hands were created to build. This is Psalm 112 in action. God blessing the work of the righteous. Declare, My hands are blessed and empowered by God. Again, everything that flows through my hands will prosper. Let that truth sink deep, because your hands are no longer ordinary. Tonight, God marks them with favor, speed, and fruitfulness. Now we deal with one of the most overlooked spiritual battles: financial shadows, emotional and energetic pressure that follows you even when things look stable on the outside. Shadows like fear of not having enough, anxiety about the future, tension every time money is mentioned, guilt around spending, panic around giving, self-doubt around goals, difficulty celebrating wins, expecting something to go wrong. These shadows are not from God. They are leftovers of battles you never deserved to fight. But tonight, the light of God burns every shadow. Declare, no financial shadow has authority over me. Again, I walk in clarity, confidence, and peace. Feel how the tension begins to loosen. Feel how your spirit begins to breathe. Feel how your heart begins to steady. Because when heaven cancels delay, it also cancels fear. Now listen carefully. There were blessings meant for you. Contracts, opportunities, clients, ideas, connections, solutions that were spiritually held back, not denied, not removed, not canceled, just held. They were waiting for the spiritual resistance to break. And tonight that resistance breaks. Declare, every blessing with my name on it is released now, again stronger. What was held back is coming to me without delay. Psalm 112 says, good things will come to the righteous. Not might come, not hopefully come, not eventually come, will come. Your blessing does not need permission from people. Your increase does not need the approval of circumstances. Your overflow does not depend on the economy. It depends on heaven. And heaven just opened the gates. Now imagine a large ancient gate in the spiritual realm, heavy, sealed, unmoved for years. This gate represents financial flow, creativity, wisdom, stability, wealth, open doors, and generational prosperity. For a long time, this gate resisted. But now, under the decree of Psalm 112, you hear it begin to shake, crack, shift, until finally it swings open. Behind it, you see divine provision, new ideas, unexpected opportunities, restored connections, reactivated purpose, and supernatural favor waiting to enter your life. Declare, my financial gates are open again. What belongs to me flows freely into my life. This is overflow. Not random, not unpredictable, not fragile, but established by God Himself. Now we address something powerful: financial identity. If the enemy cannot block your resources, he will try to block your mindset. He whispers, you'll always struggle, you don't deserve abundance, you're always behind, your work doesn't matter, you're not capable, this is the best you'll ever have. All lies, because Psalm 112 calls you righteous, stable, favored, blessed, unshakable, fruitful, prosperous, established. Now declare, my financial identity is aligned with heaven. Again, I am called to prosper for the glory of God. When identity changes, results follow. Finally, we seal this moment with prophetic decrees. Not wishes, not hopes, but spiritual laws spoken over your destiny. My hands are blessed, my path is open, my future is stable, my resources multiply, my ideas prosper, my steps accelerate, my home reaches Ives abundance, my mind carries peace, my work is fruitful, my purpose is funded. Nothing blocks my overflow. Heaven cancels delay from my life. Today marks a new season. Let this truth enter every part of your being. Tonight is not symbolic. Tonight is supernatural. Financial delay ends. Overflow begins. Your destiny rises. Your hands prosper. This is the power of Psalm 112 speaking over you. I receive the light of God today. Tonight, as we step deeper into Psalm 112, you're going to feel something unmistakable. The pressure that once sat over your finances begins to lift. Not gradually, not over months, not one day in the future, but now as the word begins to work inside you and around you. Because Psalm 112 carries a prophetic pattern. Break the delay, heal the heart, establish the identity, open the gates, release overflow, protect the blessing, and today heaven walks you through these stages one by one. Let's begin with divine reversal. Every plan of the enemy against your finances, every spiritual blockade, every invisible limitation, every assignment of lack now faces the judgment of God. There are some things that happened in your financial life that looked natural, but they were not. Opportunities vanished mysteriously. Work that should have flourished collapsed unexpectedly. Money that should have multiplied disappeared without explanation. Decisions that seemed right fell apart at the last moment. People who promised to help suddenly backed away. Ideas that felt inspired lost momentum. These were not coincidences, they were spiritual interruptions. But tonight, reversal begins. Declare what was taken from me returns multiplied again. What was blocked is released into my life. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine justice. Because when heaven steps into financial warfare, the result is always reversal. Now we deal with something deeper. Financial wounds. Financial battles don't just affect your bank account. They affect your emotions. They affect your mind. They affect your confidence. They affect your self-worth. They affect your sense of stability. They affect your relationship with opportunity. They affect the way you make decisions. You carry financial wounds from disappointments, losses, betrayals, unexpected crises, seasons of scarcity, times you felt unprepared, moments you felt ashamed, experiences where you felt abandoned, dreams that didn't work out, failures that left emotional scars. These wounds create anxiety around money, fear of taking steps, hesitation when opportunities appear, lack of confidence, self-blame, a constant sense of insecurity, internal panic even when things are stable. But tonight, God heals financial trauma. Declare, Lord, heal every financial wound in my heart. Again, restore my confidence, my courage, and my peace. As you speak, something inside you softens. Your chest feels lighter. Your breathing calms. Your spirit begins to settle. This is not psychological. It is spiritual. Psalm 112, release. Stability. And stability begins with inner healing. Now we move into financial identity. The way you see yourself in relation to money, stewardship, and blessing. Many people carry a broken financial identity because of years of pressure. They begin to believe, I will always struggle. I will always be behind. I never get ahead. I don't deserve abundance. Things never work for me. I'm not capable of prospering. These lies grow roots. They become part of how you expect life to unfold, and they create self-fulfilling patterns. But tonight, heaven rewrites your financial identity. Psalm 112 calls you righteous, stable, favored, blessed, established, unmoved, overflowing. Declare, my financial identity comes from God, not from my past. Again, I am chosen to prosper, not struggle. Your spirit is recalibrating. You are stepping into a mindset that aligns with heaven, because what God has for you, you must begin to expect, not doubt. Now imagine something. You are standing in a room with empty shelves. These shelves represent areas of your life where there has been lack. Areas where you prayed but didn't see results. Areas where you believed but nothing happened. Areas where you hoped but felt disappointed. Suddenly, a bright light enters the room, and one by one, the shelves begin to fill, not by your hands, but by heaven's supply. Ideas appear, resources appear, opportunities appear, relationships appear, solutions appear, open doors appear. This is overflow. This is Psalm 112 manifested. Overflow is not random. Overflow is not accidental. Overflow is not rare. Overflow is God's answer to years of delay. Declare, my shelves are being filled by God again. What was empty is now overflowing. Feel the shift. Something opens in your chest. Something expands in your faith. Something awakens in your spirit. This is the moment where God changes the atmosphere of your life. Now we confront financial fear. The fear of losing what you gain. The fear of instability. The fear of repeating past patterns. The fear of unexpected crisis. The fear of stepping into something greater. Fear is one of the strongest tools the enemy uses to block prosperity. Fear makes you shrink. Fear makes you hesitate. Fear makes you sabotage your own growth. Fear makes you settle for less. But tonight, fear loses its grip. Declare, I will not fear money, lack, or growth. Again, I move in faith, not fear. Your spirit is expanding. Your decisions will feel lighter. Your steps will feel clearer. Your relationship with opportunity will change forever. Now it's time for financial activation. Psalm 112 promises wealth, riches, stability, unshakable blessing, light in the darkness, generosity, favor, good news, honor, abundance for future generations. This is not metaphorical, it is literal. And today, heaven activates these promises over you. Declare, wealth flows to my hands, riches enter my house, blessings surround my life, good news is on its way. My future is financially secure. My generations will prosper through my obedience. These are not empty affirmations. They are legal declarations in the spiritual realm. Your words unlock what darkness tried to hide from you. Now imagine this final scene. A river of golden light flows from heaven. It moves slowly at first, then faster, then stronger until it surrounds you completely. This river represents divine provision, ideas, favor, opportunities, partnerships, supernatural strategies, divine timing, unexpected open doors. You place your hands into the river and instantly your hands glow. Everything you touch from now on carries favor. Everything you build carries blessing. Everything you plant multiplies. Everything connected to your name receives divine increase. Declare, my hands activate overflow again. Heaven flows through my life. This is the turning point. From this moment forward, you will not think the same. You will not act the same. You will not expect the same. You will not receive the same. Overflow now has permission to enter your life continuously, freely, and abundantly. I receive the light of God today. And tonight we go even deeper into what Psalm 112 unlocks over your life. Not just prosperity, but stability, strength, and abundance that cannot be shaken. Because God doesn't want to give you a blessing that fades. He wants to build a foundation that lasts. For years, you've lived inside financial cycles you didn't choose. Moments of progress followed by sudden loss. Breakthrough moments followed by unexpected delay. Seasons of growth suddenly interrupted. Opportunities rising and then collapsing. Doors opening and then mysteriously closing. Money flowing in but leaving just as fast. Ideas full of potential losing momentum before they could grow. These are not natural patterns. They are spiritual patterns. Patterns rooted in generational issues. Emotional wounds, fear, past instability, spiritual resistance, internal guilt or shame, past financial trauma, word curses spoken over your ability to prosper. Invisible pressure that sits on your hands. Experiences that made you feel unworthy of abundance, but tonight, God shatters every pattern that held you back. Declare this. Every financial pattern that limits my life breaks tonight. Again, I am no longer tied to cycles of lack. Let the weight of those words sink in, because you are stepping out of repetition and into renewal. Now we confront generational patterns. There are families where scarcity passes from one generation to the next, like a silent inheritance. People work hard but never break through. Ideas appear but never stabilize. Progress shows up but never lasts. Blessing comes but always in small doses. Financial storms return again and again. These patterns become familiar. But familiar does not mean God ordained. And tonight, heaven cuts what was never meant to follow you. Declare, I break every generational financial limitation off my life. Again, my lineage steps into abundance through me because Psalm E1 in the bloodline must be the first to rise. And God chose you. You are the breaker, the one who ends the cycle, the one who shifts the atmosphere, the one who sets a new standard for generations to come. Now imagine this, a long chain stretches behind you, each link representing years of financial frustration, patterns repeated by parents, grandparents, and those before them. Tonight, under the fire of Psalm 112, the chain snaps. Not quietly, but violently, completely. Finally, this is the moment where God reclaims your lineage. Declare the chain is broken, the cycle is over. My generation begins abundance. Now we shift from breaking to establishing, because deliverance without establishment creates vulnerability. You are not just coming out of lack, you are entering divine order. Psalm 112 says, the righteous will never be shaken. That means your finances stabilize, your opportunities stabilize, your emotions stabilize, your mindset stabilizes, your work stabilizes, your ideas stabilize, your progress stabilizes, your future stabilizes. Nothing sporadic, nothing unstable, nothing fragile, nothing temporary. What God gives you now will last. Declare, my finances are stable and unshakable. Again, what God builds in my life cannot be destroyed. Now we step into opportunity alignment. There were moments in your life where good opportunities came at the wrong time, or the right opportunity came when you were unprepared, or the wrong door appeared disguised as the right one, or the right door opened but something blocked the path, but no more. Psalm 112 releases divine timing, and timing is everything. Declare, my opportunities align perfectly with heaven's timing. Again, I step into divine alignment in every area of my financial life. Feel the shift. Your spirit is synchronizing with heaven, because when timing aligns, everything accelerates. Now, imagine standing in front of a massive clock in the spiritual realm. The gears were stuck for years, slow, jammed, out of sync. But suddenly the gears begin to turn. One click, then another, until the entire mechanism moves smoothly, beautifully, powerfully. This is what's happening inside your destiny. Things that were delayed are now accelerating. Declare, what was stuck begins to move. What was slow begins to accelerate. What was delayed is now aligned. Now we confront financial intimidation, a subtle but powerful spiritual influence. Intimidation sounds like, what if it fails again? What if the opportunity isn't real? What if I can't handle abundance? What if I'm not prepared? What if something goes wrong? What if I lose it all again? These thoughts are not your voice, they are spiritual interference, designed to shrink your potential. But tonight, intimidation breaks. Declare, I refuse to fear abundance. I am prepared for growth, elevation, and increase. Your spirit is expanding. Your mindset is rising. Your capacity is increasing. This is what happens when God switches you from survival mode to overflow mode. Now we activate the blessing of open hands. In Scripture, open hands symbolize readiness, generosity, receptivity, ability to receive, authority to give, freedom, capacity, flow. Closed hands cannot receive. Closed hands cannot sow. Closed hands cannot grow. But tonight, your hands open spiritually, emotionally, financially. Declare, my hands are open to receive heaven's abundance again. My capacity to prosper is expanding. This is not your imagination. Your spirit is widening. Your expectations are enlarging. Your perspective is transforming. Now let us seal everything with decrees of establishment, so that nothing can steal what God is releasing tonight. No pattern of lack will revisit me. No spiritual resistance will block me. No generational limitation will follow me. No fear will weaken me. No attack will shake me. I rise in financial stability. I rise in divine timing. I rise in overflow. I rise in abundance. I rise in purpose. My home is blessed. My work is blessed. My ideas are blessed. My hands are blessed. My future is established. My seasons are aligned with heaven. Let these words echo in your spirit, firm, unwavering, unstoppable, because tonight you are not just praying for financial change. You are becoming the change. You are stepping into a life where abundance is not a moment, but a lifestyle. Where overflow is not rare, but normal. Where stability is not temporary, but established. Where blessing is not small, but generational. This is the reality Psalm 112 unlocks for you. I received the light of God today, guided by multiplicator. Told you, I received the light of God today. Tonight, as we step deeper into Psalm 112, you enter a dimension where abundance is not an event, it is a flow. Not something that comes and goes, not something that fades with circumstances, not something that depends on people, but a spiritual current of increase that surrounds your life permanently. Because Psalm 112 does not say wealth will visit occasionally. It says wealth and riches shall be in his house. Shall be, not might be, not could be, not maybe, someday shall be, as in established, rooted, secured, maintained, protected, multiplied. Tonight, God begins to establish this reality around you. Let us begin with the breaking of inner ceilings. An inner ceiling is a subconscious barrier created by past failures, financial trauma, childhood scarcity, emotional wounds, fear of instability, spiritual pressure, negative words from others, guilt over wanting more, the belief that you don't deserve abundance. These ceilings sit above your potential, limiting what you believe is possible. But tonight, heaven shatters every inner ceiling that held your life down. Declare, I break every inner ceiling that limits my capacity to prosper. Again, my spirit expands to receive more, because God cannot pour overflow into a spirit that believes it must stay small. And tonight, you are no longer small. Your faith is growing. Your confidence is growing. Your capacity is growing. Your spiritual authority is growing. Your ability to receive is growing. Your identity is growing. God is making room inside you for what he wants to place around you. Now we enter the realm of divine multiplication. Multiplication is not addition. Addition is natural. Multiplication is supernatural. Addition requires your effort. Multiplication requires God's hand. Addition depends on time. Multiplication depends on grace. And tonight, God moves your life from addition to multiplication. Declare, what I sow multiplies, what I touch multiplies, what I build multiplies, what I imagine multiplies, what I start multiplies, what I steward multiplies. Multiplication means you accomplish in months what others take years to do. It means doors open that have no explanation. It means opportunities appear far beyond your qualifications. It means results show up faster than your effort. It means favor accelerates what your hands begin. This is the signature of Psalm 112, a blessing that multiplies. Now we confront financial intimidation from the past because the enemy often tries to use old stories to limit new seasons. Intimidation whispers, remember last time you tried? What if it goes wrong again? What if you lose everything again? What if this blessing is temporary? What if it doesn't last? What if you're not ready? These are not thoughts from God. They are echoes from old battles, battles that no longer have authority over you. Tonight, these echoes fall silent. Declare, my future is not defined by my past. I'm not entering this season with fear, but with strength. Because God does not ask you to revisit old fears. He asks you to step into new faith. And tonight, your faith rises above every intimidation. Now, we activate the favor of God, one of the greatest financial gifts heaven can release. Favor does what work alone cannot do. Favor places your name in rooms you've never entered. Favor turns hearts toward you. Favor opens doors no one can shut. Favor brings opportunities without explanation. Favor accelerates timing. Favor makes people want to bless you. Favor positions you ahead of schedule. And Psalm 112 promises this. Favor to those who walk upright. Declare, favor goes before me. Favor surrounds me. Favor rests on my hands and my work. Favor opens doors for me that no one can close. Feel this, a weight lifting, a clarity rising, a confidence awakening, because you are stepping into a season where favor becomes normal. Now God wants to address something powerful, the fear of stability. Many people subconsciously fear abundance because they have never experienced true stability. Temporary blessing. They understand small breakthroughs, they can handle moments of relief they are used to, but consistent prosperity, long-term financial peace, overflow that doesn't disappear. These things feel unfamiliar, and unfamiliar can feel frightening. But tonight, God prepares your spirit for stability. Declare, I am not afraid of financial peace. I am ready for consistent overflow. Consistency is coming to your finances. Stability is being established. Your life is being prepared for abundance that remains. Now imagine something. Before you, a large field stretches across the horizon, dry, hard, empty. This field represents areas of your life where you've worked without seeing results, where you've planted seeds with tears, where you've waited longer than you ever expected, where you've invested without a harvest. But in the distance, you see clouds gathering, heavy clouds, bright clouds, golden clouds. Suddenly, rain begins to fall. Not normal rain, rain that shines like liquid light. The field begins to soften, the soil warms, the seeds buried long ago begin to open, roots begin to grow, shoots begin to rise, life begins to multiply. This is God watering every seed you ever planted. Declare, my seeds are coming to life. My harvest is rising now because nothing you planted in faith was wasted. Nothing you gave in obedience was ignored. Nothing you sacrificed in silence was forgotten. God is bringing harvest to every seed. Now let us establish financial protection, because overflow requires shielding. Psalm 112 promises, He will not be afraid of bad news. That means your abundance is protected. Your increase cannot be stolen. Your resources cannot be drained. Your progress cannot be sabotaged. Your stability cannot be shaken. Declare, God protects my provision. No loss can touch what heaven releases to me. No attack can shake my financial foundation. This is not temporary security. This is prophetic protection. Now seal everything with these declarations. I rise with abundance. I walk in multiplication. I carry divine favor. I step into stability. I break every inner ceiling. I receive generational blessing. My hands prosper. My home prospers. My ideas prosper. My future prospers. Overflow follows me. Increase surrounds me. Financial peace settles on my life. I step into a permanent season of abundance. Let this truth take root. Let it rewrite your expectations. Let it replace years of struggle with divine assurance. You are stepping out of survival and into supernatural overflow. This is Psalm 112 alive inside you. I receive the light of God today. Now that God has broken delay, shattered cycles, destroyed inner ceilings, activated multiplication, and established favor over your life, it's time to step into something even greater. A new financial identity, a new spiritual posture, a new season of stability and overflow. Because breakthrough is not complete until your mindset, expectation, spirit, and daily direction rise to match what heaven is releasing. And tonight, Psalm 112 becomes more than a promise. It becomes your new foundation. Take a moment and feel your spirit right now. Notice how the heaviness that once sat on your chest is gone. Notice how the tension around your finances has loosened. Notice how the fear surrounding the future, He has quieted. Notice how your thoughts feel clearer, lighter, stronger. Notice how your faith feels uplifted. Notice how your spirit feels aligned. Because this prayer didn't just break delay, it broke spiritual gravity. Everything that once pulled you down, fear, doubt, setbacks, instability, confusion, has lost its strength. Now you rise differently. Now you think differently. Now you expect differently. Now you receive differently. This is what freedom feels like. But here is the part many people miss. Freedom is not the end. Freedom is the starting point. Because God didn't remove delay just so you could breathe. He removed delay so you could build. He removed resistance so you could expand. He removed pressure so you could focus. He removed fear so you could walk boldly. He removed instability so you could rise consistently. He removed scarcity so you could live generously. He removed blockages so you could step into purpose. Everything God broke tonight is making room for everything He is about to release. Declare, My life is ready for abundance again. My spirit is aligned with overflow. Let the word settle. This is spiritual positioning. Now I want you to reflect on something. Every difficult season you survived, every loss you endured, every delay you faced, every moment where you almost gave up, every time you wondered if things would ever change, those moments were not wasted. They strengthened you. They trained you. They developed resilience in you. They refined your discernment. They sharpened your faith. They increased your dependence on God. They prepared your character for the elevation ahead. Overflow without maturity destroys people. But overflow with maturity builds empires, families, assignments, and generations. You are not receiving abundance as someone unprepared. You are receiving it as someone trained by fire. Declare, I am prepared for the abundance God is releasing. Again, my character and calling can carry prosperity. This is stability speaking. This is authority rising. This is Psalm 112, taking root inside you. Now let's talk about destiny, because the enemy did not attack your finances randomly. He attacked them because your financial stability is connected to your divine assignment. Your purpose requires peace of mind, clarity, stability, time, resources, opportunities, wisdom, influence, generosity. The enemy fears financially stable believers because they fund the kingdom, they support others, they rise in influence, they break generational chains, they walk boldly, they are harder to shake, they accelerate spiritual purpose. So every financial setback you live through, every delay, every attack, every unexpected crisis was meant to slow down your assignment. But tonight, God strengthens what the enemy tried to weaken. Declare, my purpose is funded by heaven. Again, my destiny is unstoppable. Feel that power. When destiny aligns, resources follow. Now, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast river, wide, glowing, flowing with golden light. This river represents the abundance God prepared for you. For years, this river was blocked by fear, delay, guilt, inner ceilings, spiritual resistance, patterns of lack, generational influences, misalignment, anxiety, intimidation. But now the dam is broken. The waters begin to move slowly at first, then stronger, then faster, until the flow becomes unstoppable. This is overflow, not a drop, not a trickle, not a moment, a flow. Declare, the river of heaven flows into my life. Again, what God releases cannot be stopped. This is spiritual hydration, the watering of dry places, the filling of empty spaces, the renewing of barren areas. Where there was drought, there will now be harvest. Where there was pressure, there will now be peace. Where there was delay, there will now be acceleration. Where there was scarcity, there will now be abundance. Where there was fear, there will now be confidence. Where there was instability, there will now be strength. Now we seal all this with identity activation. Because the blessing means nothing if you still see yourself as someone who struggles. From tonight forward, see yourself as stable, blessed, favored, trusted by heaven, financially anointed, spiritually grounded, emotionally anchored, purpose-driven, overflow carrying, legacy building, unshakable. Say it. I am walking in abundance. Again, I am the one God chose to break financial limitations in my family, because someone always rises first. And tonight that someone is you. Your family tree shifts tonight. Your future shifts tonight. Your internal narrative shifts tonight. Your spiritual capacity shifts tonight. You are stepping into a version of yourself that lacks nothing internally. And because of that, you will lack nothing externally. Now we seal everything with final prophetic decrees. My days of financial delay are over. My hands are blessed. My steps are guided. My home is prosperous. My ideas carry favor. My work multiplies. My purpose is funded. My harvest is protected. My emotions are steady. My spirit is strong. My future is abundant. I walk in overflow. I stand in overflow. I live in overflow. Let these words become your new reality, not future, not symbolic, but now. Because tonight was not just prayer. It was transition. You are crossing into a life that looks nothing like the seasons you survive. Overflow is not coming. Overflow is here. I receive the light of God today. Now, let's talk. You and me. I want to speak directly to you. Because if you're sitting there feeling tired, truly worn out from the weight of worrying about bills and the grind of just scraping by, then what I'm about to share might sound a little difficult to believe at first. I understand that. But I've seen some things that make me take notice. Just 2 days ago, I got an email from a man named David who lives in Chicago. He told me he received a surprise deposit into his account, over $3,000. And it happened just 24 hours after he listened to this exact message. That got my attention. Yesterday, I heard from a woman named Linda. She shared that her online shop, which had been quiet for so long, suddenly sold out of its entire stock. She hadn't changed anything, run a new ad, or done anything different. It just happened. And this very morning, I learned about Sam. He's a fellow who'd been chasing a particular high-paying client for months, facing one rejection after another, and he finally landed them. Now, here is the part that really makes you think. In each of these cases, the money, the breakthrough, started coming in before they had even finished listening. The process was already in motion, while the words were still being heard. That tells me something important, and I want you to consider it deeply. You didn't find this by some random accident or a simple twist of luck. Something guided you here. There's a pull, a nudge, that brought you to this moment because a major shift is happening right now in the realm of finances and provision. And you are positioned right in the middle of it. You're not on the sidelines looking in. You are central to what's unfolding. To start this activation for yourself, to get your own process moving, there's a simple, tangible step. Hit the like button. Then write the words, "I claim my blessings by my divine," right there in the comment section. This isn't about performing for an algorithm. By doing this, you are making a declaration. You are stating for yourself and for the record that your waiting period is over. You are announcing that you are ready, prepared, and open to collect the same kind of blessings that found David and Linda. You are shifting from a posture of waiting to a posture of receiving. I know there might be skepticism in your mind right now. That's perfectly normal and honest. Maybe you've tried methods of manifesting before, read the books, followed the steps, and it didn't seem to work for you. Or perhaps you've prayed for help, sincerely called out for a breakthrough, and felt nothing but silence in return, feeling ignored or overlooked. I hear that. But what we're discussing here isn't just wishful thinking or another technique to try. You are about to see, to understand, that you have actually been chosen for a specific breakthrough. This isn't random. A process has been building up quietly in the background, behind the scenes of your life, and it has been building toward this point. Let me tell you something very important. It's a crucial point, so please listen closely. Your money troubles, the financial strain you've been under, likely weren't because you didn't work hard enough. That's a burden you can put down right now. You didn't fail because of a lack of effort or hustle. In fact, the universe, in its broader workings, was actually preparing you during that time. Think of it like a farmer planting seeds in a field. After the planting, for quite a while, if you just look at the surface of the dirt, it looks like nothing is happening. It seems barren, quiet, and unchanged. You might wonder if anything was ever planted there at all. But deep down, below what the eye can see, a critical and necessary process is underway. Roots are growing, they are spreading out, reaching down, establishing a foundation, gathering nutrients, and creating a network of strength that will be essential for what comes next. That period of unseen growth is vital. It is not wasted time, it is preparation time. So, I'd like you to do something with me. Just close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead. Wherever you are, just close them. Block out the noise around you, the distractions, the to-do list, the constant hum of life. Block out the image of those bills sitting on the counter. Let go of the mental picture of the balance in your account. Feel the weight of every financial worry you have carried. Some for months, others for years, that heavy constant pressure. And for this moment, set it down, just set it down. Now, in your spirit, in your mind's eye, I want you to see a door. This isn't the door to a bank or a loan office. It is entirely different. It is the door to a heavenly treasury, a storehouse of provision, and it is labeled clearly with your name. Your name is on it. Today, that door is not just being unlocked with a gentle turn of a key. Its very hinges are being torn off by the sheer, unstoppable force of a prophetic promise that heaven itself is releasing over your life. It is a promise that carries the authority to remove barriers completely. The universe, the very created order that operates under divine principle, is aligning itself. It is attuning itself like a fine instrument to the frequency of your faith. Your faith has a sound, a vibration, and that vibration is being heard. As you listen right now, in this moment of openness and attention, that universal order is preparing to echo back to you. But it won't echo back with more worry or lack. It will echo back in a language you need to understand, the language of provision. It will speak in the terms of surprise grants, of canceled debts, and of unexpected abundance that arrives through channels you hadn't anticipated. This is why you are here now. You are not here by accident. You were led here, guided here, to hear this specific decree spoken. The season of your financial struggle, the long winter of scarcity, is reaching its end. EU season is beginning. And you are stepping across that threshold simply by being here and listening. As these words enter your ears and you give them your attention, it's important for you to understand the nature of the spiritual transaction that is beginning to take place. This isn't a passive act, you simply hearing a message. In this specific space and moment, your listening is an active engagement. Your focused attention is your agreement with what is being declared. Your openness, your willingness to set aside skepticism even for a few minutes, that is your faith in operation. It's the currency of this exchange. So, as you hear these words of divine authority spoken over your life, you are doing something powerful. You are positioning your spirit directly under a waterfall of blessing. You are consciously stepping into the path of a predetermined blessing that has, in a sense, been searching for your address. It's been looking for the right moment, the right conditions, the right alignment of your will and readiness to manifest in your life. This lot of money, this substantial provision we're talking about, is not some vague wish or a hopeful concept. I want to be very clear about that. It is a specific, measurable transfer of resources. It is a movement from the unseen realm of God's limitless supply, a realm that operates on principles of abundance and creativity far beyond our market economies, into the visible, tangible realm of your need and your destiny. This is the material manifestation, the physical evidence of a promise to supply all your needs. It's that promise taking on form and weight in your world. Now, let's be clear on the purpose, because this is critical. This isn't about greed. It's not about accumulation for its own sake or for a life of isolated luxury. This is about dominion. It's about stewardship and authority. It is about God financing the very vision He Himself planted in your heart, the ideas, the dreams, the assignments that you carry. It is about removing lack as a constant distraction, so that your energy, your creativity, and your focus are no longer consumed by survival, but can be fully applied to your purpose. Therefore, in this moment, I am breaking every word curse that has ever been spoken over your finances. Every careless word from others, every negative decree you've spoken over yourself in moments of despair. I am breaking every ancestral pact of poverty, any generational agreement with struggle or lack that has tried to extend its influence into your life. And I am breaking every spirit of fear that has constricted your finances. The fear of risk, the fear of failure, the fear of not having enough, which tightens its grip and closes off the flow. I am severing the invisible chains that have been around your wallet, around your bank account, and around your spiritual and natural inheritance. These chains are being cut, and I declare that those channels of receiving are now open, wide, and clear. They are being flushed clean of any blockage, and they are prepared for a great transfer of wealth. This wealth is coming from all directions, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. It is converging on your life. I am calling forward every delayed payment, every blessing that was ordained for you but was held up in transit by circumstances or spiritual resistance. I am calling forth every hidden resource, assets, ideas, opportunities you didn't know you had or that were concealed from your view. I am calling forth every divine connection, the people whose paths are meant to intersect with yours for mutual advancement and blessing. And I am calling forth every creative idea that carries within it the seed of million-dollar returns. Ideas that solve problems, that meet needs, that create value on a significant scale. These are not just floating in the ether anymore. They are now locating you. They have your coordinates. You will be tracked down by blessings you cannot evade. It will become a pattern in your life. Money will find you. Favor will locate you. Opportunities will seek you out. This happens because the universe, in its ordered obedience, is complying with a command issued from a higher authority, the command of your Father. Now, receive the prayer that seals all of this. Let your spirit, in its quiet center, say yes. Don't force it. Just allow that internal agreement to rise up. Right now, as you hear the sound of my voice, a divine instruction is being issued to angels of prosperity concerning your life. These messengers have been dispatched with packages, with deliveries, bearing your name. This isn't a shipment for tomorrow or for a someday in the distant future. The label says for today. There is a today anointing on this very moment, a punctual, timely breakthrough that refuses to be delayed by your past mistakes or postponed by your present circumstances. It operates on a different timetable, a Kairos timetable, and it has arrived. The universe, this system of divinely ordered principles, is not a random, chaotic force. It is a created system. And like any good creation, it responds to the commands of its creator. It responds specifically to the commands of faith, spoken under the authority of heaven's King. Such commands, made in alignment, set the system into motion. And so today, by the spiritual authority vested in the name above every name, I am commanding that entire system to shift in your favor. I am speaking directly to the winds of the global economy, the currents of commerce and flow, and I am decreeing that they blow blessings to your shore. They will carry ships of provision you didn't build into your harbor. I am speaking to the seeds you have sown in tears, the hard work that seemed fruitless, the kindness you showed when you had little, the faithfulness you maintained in small things, and I'm calling them to spring up now. They are springing up not as a meager crop, but as a harvest of financial jubilee. A harvest so abundant, it cancels debts and restores years. You see, you are not just sitting here hoping for a change, crossing your fingers and wishing on a star. You are being actively recalibrated. Your internal settings, your capacity to receive, your very magnetic pull toward abundance is being reset for an overflow. This overflow will be so tangible, so evident, that it will fundamentally redefine what you believe is possible for your life. It will shatter the ceiling of your own expectations. You will look back and realize that what you once considered a great breakthrough was merely a prelude. This process is moving you from a mindset of limitation into a lived experience of divine supply, where your old benchmarks of success will seem small in comparison to what is now being arranged for you. This isn't a theoretical promise. It is an operational shift in the spiritual infrastructure of your life, and it has immediate and practical implications. It's essential for you to understand why this is happening right now. Timing is everything, and this timing is not an accident. God operates as a strategic God. He doesn't release blessings merely to make you comfortable, to simply add a layer of ease to your life while everything else remains the same. His purpose is to make you formidable. He intends to equip you thoroughly for the purposes He has for you, purposes you may have yet to fully imagine. The lot of money that heaven has earmarked for you is, in that light, far more than just cash. It is a tool. It is a resource for kingdom assignments. It is the funding for the vision that has been simmering on the back burner of your heart, that business idea, that non-profit dream, that project to help your family or your community. It is the specific capital for the enterprise that will not only bless you, but will employ others, serve many, and create a legacy of positive impact. It is the means to clear away every lingering debt, not so you can be frivolous, but so you can run unhindered, with no chains of financial obligation holding you back, straight into the fullness of your destiny. This prayer you are engaged in is not a magic spell. It's important to draw that distinction clearly. A magic spell seeks to manipulate unseen forces for personal gain, often without a change of heart or character. This is different. This is a spiritual trigger. It is the release mechanism for a heavenly edict, a formal decree that has already been signed in your favor. All the paperwork, so to speak, has been completed on the divine side. Your faith, activated by your listening and your internal yes, is the final signature required on earth. It is the part that completes the circuit and allows the transfer of power from the spiritual reality into your material reality. So in this sacred and focused moment, I am silencing the voice of the accuser. That voice, whether it comes from your own memories or from external negativity, that whispers, you are unworthy. You made too many mistakes. You don't deserve this. That voice is being muted. Its volume is turned down to 0. I am canceling the entire ledger of your past financial failures, the bad investments, the missed opportunities, the times you were taken advantage of, the seasons of lack. That ledger is being stamped paid in full and closed for good. I am declaring with all authority that you are a child of the King. And there is a principle at work. The wealth of the sinner is actually laid up for the just. You are the just, made righteous not by your own perfect record, but by faith. Therefore, what has been held in reserve is now being routed to you. I am calling forth specific manifestations. I am calling forth supernatural debt cancellation, where lenders forgive balances or situations arise that erase what you owe in unexpected and legally sound ways. I am calling forth unexpected bonuses and raises that seem to come from nowhere simply because a decision maker was favorably inclined toward you. I am calling forth profitable ideas, those flashes of insight that show you a clear path to creating value and generating income. I am calling forth favoring negotiations, where in any discussion about money or terms, the advantage swings to your benefit. And I am calling forth windfalls from forgotten sources, old accounts, unclaimed assets, inheritances you knew nothing about, or royalties from past work. My decree is this: money you did not work for in the traditional sense will find you. Contracts you did not lobby for, chase after, or beg for will be offered to you unsolicited. Investments you did not meticulously research and chase will prosper for you as though guided by an unseen hand. When it happens, you will look at the sudden accumulation, the confluence of provision, and you will have one clear, undeniable thought: this had to be God. There is no other explanation for this series of events. Therefore, receive it now. Don't wait until you see the physical evidence to open up. Let your spirit open wide, like a vessel prepared to be filled. Let every internal resistance, every last bit of doubt, every scar from past disappointment, every protective wall you built around your hopes fall away. The transfer has been initiated from the source. The notification, the email, the phone call, the letter, the idea, the meeting is already on its way. Your only tasks in this moment are threefold: to believe, to give thanks, and to prepare for the arrival. Consider it done. The spiritual transaction is complete. Your struggles, those long, difficult seasons, were just that, the underground growing phase. While you felt nothing was happening, the roots were spreading deep and wide, establishing a system strong enough to support the weight of the harvest to come. And now, my son, my daughter, your harvest is finally here. It's time. Think back on every instance where you kept going when things were impossibly hard. Remember every time. Chose to help someone else. Even when you were broke yourself, offering your last bit of time, energy, or resource. Those weren't wasted moments. You were building up spiritual credit. You were making deposits into an account governed by the principle of sowing and reaping. And that account has now reached its maturity date. While you were stressed and anxious about the details of daily life, the universe in its grand intelligence was moving pieces around like a master chess player. It was orchestrating introductions, softening hearts, opening doors, and shifting circumstances, all with the singular aim of bringing you to this exact moment, in this exact frame of mind, to receive this exact word. Right now, the energy surrounding your financial life, the very atmosphere around your bank account and your cash flow is shifting. It's a subtle shift, not a loud explosion. It's like the sky changing color in the deep dawn, from black to deep blue to purple. If you glance at it, you might not notice the change, but if you watch steadily, you see the transformation is undeniable. You might not see the full picture of your financial recovery yet, but the change in the light tells you the sun is coming up. The process has started. This time is fundamentally different from other times you may have hoped for a change. This time, we aren't just sitting and hoping for money to appear. We are actively unlocking it. We are turning the key in a long-sealed door. Money at its essence is just energy, a medium of exchange for value and energy by its nature goes where it is welcomed, where it is expected, where there is a resonant frequency for it. What we are doing now is rewiring your internal receiver. We are working to make you a magnet for this energy, so it flows toward you along the path of least resistance. Think of yourself like a radio. For years, perhaps for most of your life, you may have been tuned into the struggle station. That station broadcasts a constant signal of scarcity, of not enough, of hard labor with little return. Its frequency is low, heavy, and static-filled. But as you listen to this, as you engage with these declarations, we are turning the dial. We are gently, deliberately tuning you to a new frequency, the clear, strong signal of wealth and ease. This frequency doesn't mean no work. It means your work is aligned, effective, and richly rewarded. It means ideas flow, connections happen, and provision arrives in sync with your need. Before a single additional word of this prayer is spoken, I want you to know this and let it settle into your bones. The atmosphere around you, the spiritual air you are breathing right now, is charged. It's charged with the electricity of imminent breakthrough. It feels different because it is different. You have stepped into a charged field of divine favor. There is a sound reverberating in the heavenlies, a sound inaudible to the natural ear, but clear in the spirit. It is the sound of ledgers being balanced in your favor, of vaults being unlocked, of divine transactions being finalized, stamped, and filed with your heavenly account number clearly printed on them. You are not just hoping, you have entered a divine moment where timelines converge. Consider that for a moment. There is the timeline of your persistent faith, your history of prayers, your tears, your decisions to keep going when you wanted to quit. That long, often difficult timeline has been stretching forward, seeking its point of fulfillment. Now, in this instant, it is intersecting with God's timeline of appointed provision. There is a schedule in heaven for your breakthrough, a specific date and time for this release, and that schedule is syncing perfectly with your readiness to receive. This is not a coincidence, it is a divine appointment. As a result, the universe, in its obedience to its creator, is aligning its resources toward you. It is rerouting funds, inspiring hearts to be generous toward you, orchestrating chance encounters and favorable circumstances, all with a single focused command in mind: to get substantial life-altering wealth into your hands. This is not about a small temporary relief. This is about a transfer that changes the trajectory of your life and the lives connected to you. I want to be perfectly clear. I am not speaking in metaphors here. I am not talking about a feeling of being rich in spirit while your bank account remains empty. I am speaking of tangible, spendable, transferable currency. I am speaking of checks that will arrive in your mailbox and surprise you with their amount. I am speaking of cash that will seem to find you in unexpected ways. Found money, repayment of old debts you'd written off, cash gifts. I am speaking of actual debts, from credit cards to medical bills to personal loans, that will simply vanish, wiped clean as if they were never there, through settlements, forgiveness programs, or unexpected resources to pay them. Why is this happening? Because of a fundamental, irrevocable principle. You have been faithful in the little things. You honored your commitments even when it was hard. You gave when you had little. You maintained your integrity in small financial matters. You did not give up. And now, the kingdom's principle of increase is being activated on your behalf. The mechanism that says faithfulness in small things leads to authority over many things is now clicking into gear for your finances. This money is coming not as a reward for perfect living, as if you earned it by being flawless. It is coming as a testament to a faithful God who honors his covenant, his binding agreement with his children. He is a promise keeper. The provision is also coming with purpose. It is coming to break the power of fear over your life, the fear of not having enough, the fear of tomorrow, the fear that has perhaps dictated your decisions and limited your risks for too long. It is coming to silence, once and for all, the taunts of the enemy, that voice that has whispered, sometimes shouted, that you would always struggle, that your family line is marked by lack, that you are destined to just get by. That voice is about to be drowned out by the evidence of God's goodness. Furthermore, this wealth is coming so that you can become something more, a conduit. It is coming so you can be a wide open channel of blessing to others. This fulfills the law of sowing and reaping on a scale that will truly astonish you. You will have the capacity to sow significant blessings into the lives of others, into ministries, into community projects. Then that act of sowing will in turn unleash an even greater cycle of harvest in your own life. Therefore, acting in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I am severing every chain of poverty. I am breaking every link that has tied you to a mindset and a reality of lack. I am dismantling every spirit of miserly lack, that gnawing feeling that you must clutch tightly to every penny because there will never be enough. I am uprooting every generational curse of financial blockage, any pattern of debt, loss, or struggle that has seemed to pass down through your family line. That line of transmission is cut today. In its place, I am declaring new things over you. I declare your mind is now clear, uncluttered by anxiety, to receive million-dollar ideas. These ideas will come with clarity and a practical roadmap. I declare your hands are blessed, anointed to create, to build, to gather, and to steward wealth wisely and effectively. I declare your bank accounts are protected from fraud, loss, and lack, and they are now magnetized for supernatural deposits. They will attract deposits that defy your normal income patterns. I am calling forth your royal inheritance from every direction, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. Resources, opportunities, and favor are converging on your location from all points of the compass. I command unexpected inheritances, even from distant relatives or unlikely sources. I command sudden settlements, legal or insurance settlements that come through quickly and favorably. I command a favor so thick, so tangible, that it will feel like a weight upon you, a noticeable gravity of grace in every interaction. You will be repaid. The principle of restoration is active. You will be repaid sevenfold for every unjust financial loss you have suffered. You will recover all. Everything that was stolen from you through deceit. Everything that was delayed by bureaucracy or ill will. Everything that was unfairly withheld from you. Receive now this specific anointing of divine wealth transfer. Feel the internal shift. Believe the report of the Lord over the report of your bank statement from last month. Open your hands physically if you can, and open your heart spiritually. It is done. The lot of money, the specific provision package, has left the heavenly treasury. It is no longer on the health. It is in transit to you. Its movement has begun. So begin your part. Begin to thank God for it, not as a beggar hoping for a crumb, but as a child thanking a father for a gift you know is already on its way. Begin to plan, yes, actually plan, from a place of abundance, not from a place of need. Start drafting the business plan. Start looking at the property. Start envisioning the debt-free life. Plan from the reality that is coming, not the reality that is passing away. Your season of struggling, of constant financial anxiety is over. Its reign has ended. Your season of overwhelming reception has begun. You are now in the season of gathering the harvest. There is a scripture that speaks of a prophet hearing the sound of an abundance of rain long before a single drop fell. That sound was the precursor, the guarantee of the coming downpour. You're listening right now. Your focused attention on these words is that very same act of faith. You are hearing the sound, the distant, sure rumble of a financial downpour that was prepared for you long ago, even before the foundations of the world were laid. This is not chance. This is divine design. Heaven itself has been holding this specific provision, this custom-fitted blessing for this specific moment in your life. It has been in reserve, waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for your spirit to arrive at the exact posture of receptive faith that you are in right now, open, expectant, and in agreement. The prayer you are engaged in is not creating something new out of nothing. It is not trying to convince a reluctant God to be generous. It is acting as a key, unlocking a storehouse that has already been filled, a storehouse that already has your name written on the inventory list. The universe, this vast, ordered cosmos under God's command, is simply falling into alignment. It is adjusting its course to match the legal decree of heaven concerning your prosperity. Legal decrees on earth must be enforced. How much more so a decree from the highest court of all? The system is aligning to fulfill that decree in your life, bringing the spiritual reality into your physical day-to-day experience. This is the moment for a fundamental shift in identity. You must consciously and deliberately release the old image of yourself as a beggar, as someone perpetually in need, with a hand always out. That picture is a lie that has overstayed its welcome. From this moment forward, I want you to see yourself, to envision yourself as a steward of significant wealth. See yourself walking with confidence into a prepared inheritance that has been waiting for you. This shift in your internal self-view is not a minor psychological trick. It is critical. It is essential. The lot of money, the substantial provision, is not coming to a person who is defined by lack, who sees themselves as unworthy or perpetually behind. It is coming to a person who knows deep in their bones that they are a child of the King, ordained and equipped, to manage kingdom resources for kingdom impact. Your mindset must match the magnitude of the blessing. You are not receiving a handout. You are being entrusted with assets for a purpose greater than yourself. This provision will arrive through channels you recognize. Perhaps your job, your business, a familiar investment, and through ways you could never have engineered. It might come as a legal victory you didn't see coming. It might arrive as a sudden, favorable shift in a market that benefits your holdings. It could be a creative idea that transforms an entire industry, a generous gift from a stranger, or the discovery of something valuable you already owned but overlooked. The pathways are infinite because they are orchestrated by a God of infinite supply and creativity. He is not limited to your paycheck. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. and He can direct any one of them to your door. Therefore, I am coming against every internal blockade. I am breaking the spirit of poverty that whispers its toxic mantra in your ear. You don't deserve it. This isn't for people like you. It's too good to be true. That voice is being permanently silenced. I am dismantling the mindset of scarcity that fears to give, that clutches everything tightly, believing that letting go of $1 means losing it forever. That constricted way of thinking is being demolished. I am uprooting from the very garden of your soul the deep-rooted tree of financial anxiety with all its gnarled branches of worry about tomorrow. In the fertile soil where that tree once stood, I am now planting two new things: the seed of outrageous faith, a faith that believes for the impossible as a matter of course, and the mighty oak of unshakable expectancy. This oak will provide shade from the heat of doubt. I declare specific blessings over your capacities. I declare that your hands are blessed, anointed to receive gracefully, to hold securely without hoarding, and to multiply wealth wisely through intelligent investment and spirit-led generosity. I declare your mind is sharpened, honed to a fine edge, with divine strategies for wealth creation. These aren't just hard work strategies, but ideas that carry a supernatural advantage. Ideas that create new markets and solve old problems in elegant ways. I declare your network is being supernaturally connected. Divine helpers and gatekeepers of resources, people with the influence, the capital, or the access you need, are being drawn into your sphere and divinely prompted to assist you. I am calling forth what belongs to you. I call forth every lost coin, every penny that slipped through the cracks. I call forth every withheld promotion, every raise or advancement you earned but never received. I call forth every dormant asset, talents you've set aside, ideas you've shelved, property or items you possess but have forgotten. I am commanding a great transfer. This is a large-scale movement of wealth from the realm of darkness, where it has been hoarded, misused, or stagnant, into the kingdom of light, and from there, directly into your stewardship. You are being commissioned not just to have wealth, but to manage it with wisdom and righteousness for purposes that extend beyond yourself. Receive this commissioning now. Feel the weight of this spiritual assignment. The prayer you are hearing, the declarations being made are not just words, they are the key turning in the lock. Do not doubt in this moment. Do not hesitate. The door you saw earlier, the door to the treasury with your name, is now swinging open on its torn-off hinges. It is open wide. Walk through it. Walk through into your abundance. It is yours. Claim it by stepping forward in your mindset and your actions. When your internal signal, your core vibration, finally matches that of abundance, money truly has no choice but to find you. It is a law of energy. And here is the beautiful, liberating thing about this energy we're discussing. It doesn't care about your past. It doesn't hold a grudge over your mistakes. It isn't impressed or depressed by your current bank balance. It pays no attention to what anyone else thinks you deserve. Energy is neutral and responsive. It only responds to the vibration you are putting out right now. And I am telling you that vibration is shifting in real time. You are moving, sometimes smoothly, sometimes with a little internal friction, from a frequency of scarcity, marked by fear, constriction, and anxiety, to a frequency of abundance, marked by peace, expectancy, and open-handedness. Most people have a misunderstanding about how the universe delivers financial blessings. They expect a sack of cash to fall from the sky. That's rarely how it works. Instead, the universe, in its intelligent design, sets up a chain of natural, logical events that leads you step by step into prosperity. It might inspire a manager to offer you a new position. It might push a client's hand to finally hire you for that big project. It could guide your attention to a smart investment you previously overlooked. It might even stir the memory of someone who owes you money, prompting them to repay a debt you'd forgotten. The universe is incredibly, wonderfully creative in its delivery methods. Your specific breakthrough might come from a sudden business idea that hits you in the shower. It might be a side project taking off unexpectedly. It could be a forgotten refund check found in a pile of mail. The trick is not to try to control the how. The trick is to stay spiritually alert, mentally open, and emotionally ready to recognize and receive these surprises when they arrive, however they arrive. Right now, as you sit in this truth, you are beginning to broadcast a new signal to the world around you. This isn't mystical jargon. It's about the energy you project. People who can help you financially, who have resources, connections, or opportunities, are being subtly drawn toward you. They may not consciously why they want to help you or do business with you, they just feel inclined to. Opportunities are being magnetized to your life. The right circumstances, the lucky breaks, are lining up like dominoes, ready to fall in a sequence that leads to your growth and increase. We all, without exception, carry a money story. This is a set of deep-seated beliefs and fears about money that we picked up unconsciously as children. Maybe you saw your family struggle constantly, and you learned the lesson that money is incredibly hard to get and even harder to keep. Maybe you were taught, directly or indirectly, that wanting money is greedy or spiritually shallow. But here is the liberating truth. That old story is not the real you. It's not your identity. It is like wearing an ill-fitting outfit that someone else picked out for you years ago. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't suit who you are now, and it's time to change clothes. As you listen and agree with these declarations, we are dissolving those old beliefs. They are losing their power over your decisions and your self-image. You aren't just fixing a broken relationship with money. You are doing something far more profound. You are remembering. You are remembering that abundance, ease, and flowing provision were part of your original design, your original state, before the world taught you to be limited, to struggle, and to expect lack. Your new story is simple, clear, and powerful. It goes like this: you are here to experience life fully, and having abundance is natural to that experience. You have a divine right to prosperity, not as an end in itself, but as a means to live purposefully and bless generously. No past mistake, no season of delay, no failure can revoke that right. The universe and the God who made it wants to work through you. Money is simply one of the many tools it uses to accomplish that work. This is your true story. Accept it and walk into it.